Welcome to Mum Uncensored, where motherhood meets real talk. I'm your host Gab, and every week we'll dive into raw, unfiltered conversations about family, life, and finding yourself in all the chaos. Hit follow now so that you never miss the laughs, lessons, and stories that just keep it real. Let's get started. Hey there, I'm Gab, and I'm so thrilled to finally announce my new podcast. My new podcast is dedicated to openly discussing the journey of motherhood and the daily experiences of being a partner, a woman, a friend, a small business owner, and all the many hats that we wear. My personal goal is to connect with all women of all walks of life that are navigating this beautiful yet wildly challenging experience. This podcast is a safe space where we can come all together, we can share our stories, and embrace the realities of being a woman and a mother. I'm a proud girls girl, and if you are curious about what that means, don't worry, I'll be diving into it in an upcoming episode. I believe in the power of women supporting women, and this podcast is part of a growing movement that encourages us to uplift one another. Join me as we explore the highs and the lows of motherhood, creating a community where every voice is heard and valued. So whether you're a new mum, a seasoned parent, or just simply looking to connect with others, there is definitely something here for you. Now let's embark on this journey together. Hello. Welcome to the very first episode of Mum Uncensored. I just thought with the first episode that I could start with some surface level introduction stuff of myself, just for you guys to get to know me a little bit, whether you do know me, whether you don't know me, whether you're wanting to get to know me a little bit more. So let's begin. Why the fuck did I just forget what I was going to say? Holy shit, that mum brain fog is wild. So me now, I am currently in childcare as a casual educator, and I work in beauty as well. I also am a mum to a 3-year-old. How long I've been in each of those. So for childcare, I have been in childcare for 14 long years. I began when I was 16. For beauty, I am hitting 4 years this year, in November, and I absolutely love it. I am, like I mentioned, I am a mum to a 3-year-old, so it's been 3 years that I have been a mum and have experienced so many things. I mean, look, there's going to be many more things as she gets older, but yeah, 3 years and it's been wild. So childcare, I was 16, as I mentioned. I had finished school. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life at that age. Was quite daunting because I feel like everyone around me knew what they wanted to do. But I looked at myself and I was like, I have no fucking idea what I want to do. I feel like there's so much pressure, before you leave school that you need to know what you needed to do. Whereas for me, I just had no idea. And my mum was always big on like trialing everything, trialing as many things as you can. It's never too late to try something. So I lived up the street from a childcare centre that both my younger siblings attended. And I thought, why not? Like, I'll just give it a go, see where I'm at with it, in a year, blah, blah, blah. 14 years later, still there. So yeah, I decided to inquire about it, and then I actually jumped into a traineeship for a year. I've worked with all different ages from, almost newborns to primary school kids. So look, I love the industry. I do. I love, being able to care, educate, nurture the kids. But as the years have gone on, obviously I've got my little one as well. So it is a little bit, I'm going to use the word draining, in the sense that I look after kids pretty much all day, and then I look after my own. So it definitely is draining by the end of the day. So yeah, been doing it for that long. What transitioned me into beauty? So we went through COVID lockdown. And COVID lockdown changed so many things, like so many things. Whether that be, I don't know, job, whether that be mentally, whether that be like, it just changed so many things. And one of those things that it did to me was my outlook on my job, my career, on what I wanted for my future. I had actually began seeing my partner, and I think they classed it as like a frontline worker, to help the other frontline workers, whether that be a nurse or a doctor or, someone that was still needing to work during that really hard time. So I continued working. I mean, obviously, like, hours are very different too, depending on how many kids were there. But, being a frontline worker, it's such a hard topic to talk about, because I feel like some people are going to be like, well, it's not about the money. Look, it's not about the money. And if you want to get in childcare for the money, the money's just, it's not there. So, like I mentioned, became a frontline worker. I did expect, just an increase in wages as well. If we were getting noticed as, the frontline workers, I did expect that little bit of a wage increase, which didn't necessarily happen, and that's fine. All good. Like I said, I've been in it for such a long time, and look, money's never been there. It's never been great. But I did it for the kids. The amount of beautiful parents and the beautiful kids that I come across, and that I still see today, and it's such a warm feeling when, parents still remember you, that you've made such an impact on their lives. I have parents on social media, and, I have a few that reach out to me, and, just to see how I'm going. And, I've had a few, reach out when I began my business, and, tell me how they feel about seeing my growth. A lot of them saw me when I was 16, 17. I mean, I'm 28 now, so that's a lot of years to see someone grow. So it's beautiful in that area of the industry. I love it. I do love that. But yeah, just in regards to the increase of wages, I did decide that it was time that I needed to start sussing out another avenue another avenue for my future. So that's when I decided to step into beauty. Look, beauty has never been like a huge thing for me. I'm very, very low maintenance. Look, I'm gonna be straight up with you. First few of the episodes, I'll probably have a bit of makeup on. Coming into maybe the middle, the end, who knows if it's even gonna last that long. It's gonna show some real and raw things for you guys. So yeah, I'm very low maintenance. I don't do my makeup every day. Now that I am in the beauty industry, the only reason my brows are semi-maintained is because, I do it. Yeah, like my nails, one of my best girlfriends, does it for me. So a lot of the times when I go and get them done, it's more just a catch up. It's not even just there trying to get my nails done. It's just for a catch up. Yeah, like my hair, I don't really do much with it, especially working as a casual educator. It's usually just a slick back bun, or, maybe in a plait. Even for beauty, minimal face of like makeup, maybe like a bit of mascara, a bit of lip gloss. Hair is usually put away. That's probably my highest maintenance thing, is my hair. And then I do like dressing good because it makes me feel good. That's when, like I said, I decided to step into beauty. A lot of the times when I was growing, like in my childhood growing up, my mum definitely tried pushing the beauty side, because she did see there was little moments that it sort of made me happy. And she always said, like, get into it. And it just wasn't my vibe at the time, and then leaving school, I just was like, nah, like it's not for me yet, like blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so decided to study. Anyway, I jumped into a college online, and I studied brows, lash lifts, and lash extensions at the time. I do not actually do lash extensions anymore. I give you guys credit for the girls that do, or the guys that do lash extensions, because that shit is tedious, and it killed my back for the year that I did do it. So I studied those subjects. It was good, for what I paid for. I got the few little products. I think I smashed it out in like 6 months, because I really, really wanted to start getting into the industry. After I completed my online course, I didn't feel as confident. But I decided to explore and get extra training with some well-known brow techs in the area that were, known for their work. They had a great following. Did a lot of research before I did training. So a lot of the girls that I actually chose to train with, I actually admired their work, and I looked up to them for their work. So decided to do that. And in the meantime as well, I did open my business. I thought, well, instead of going to work for someone in the beauty industry, I thought, why don't I just open up my own business and see how I go with it? I've been around a lot of family members, a lot of friends that my parents are friends with, that actually have had their businesses, and I've seen how good it can be. I've also seen the downs of a business, but I've also seen how much extra time you can have, especially when you have kids. I can see that it's flexible for you. You work on your own terms, and I actually loved that about a business. So I opened up a business. I think the hardest part about opening the business was actually coming up with a name. So with the name itself, I love my brand name. I do, because I feel like it definitely reflects a little bit about me as well. But I was actually at work and at the center that I was working at, and a few of the girls that I became really, really close with actually sat down, and we were talking about a name, and I said, look, I'm going to open up a business in beauty, and I need a brand name. So we were just like talking and sort of sussing out what sort of worked, what could roll off the tongue and catch people's attention as well. And then one of the girls was like, what sort of services are you doing? I said, well, like, I'm doing brows right now, and lashes. And, I thought, well, I'm going to have brows in the brand name. And then I did eventually want to get into other stuff in the beauty industry. And I thought, well, like, if it's going to be like overall beauty, we're going to have to add beauty into it too. And then I thought, what is something that I am very, I'm very passionate about with myself. I'm very, what's the aura that I give? Like, and then one of the girls was like, boss. Like, you give boss girl energy. And I'm like, maybe I can incorporate something into that. And then I thought, let's just like write it down on a piece of paper. So when we were just all sitting together, I ended up writing on a paper, and it was like Boss Brows Beauty Co. And I'm like, I love that. So, and I fell in love instantly. So that is how Boss Brows Beauty Company came to a light. I was super, super confident in the services that I was providing, and took it into my own hands. Opened up the business here at home. I had been doing the business here for about 3 years, and it was great until Indy turned 2, and I couldn't do it anymore. She turned 2, and it was like something switched. I was not able to bring clients to the house because she wanted to be on me. And I'm so grateful for the clients that have stuck by me through all that chaos, because when I do have clients in and they're like, how's Indy going? And they're able to remember how, that whole journey of her being so small. Like, I had clients when she wasn't even walking yet. I had clients when they saw the process of her walking. So it was beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it is also nice to have my own little space now. I can turn work off and then come home and just be a mum and a partner. So that's how long I've been in each of those areas of my life. I do have a partner. We've been together for 6 years in February. I cannot actually explain how beautiful the relationship I'm in because it just, I get so gooey and weird about it. But like, yeah, I definitely have such a supportive partner that has supported me through everything in life, everything from work, from motherhood to family to being a business owner to just being me. Like, supportive is like not even enough to explain him. He's my best friend. We are just the yin and yang, and it's so nice to be in such a calming and supportive and loving relationship. So that's enough of that topic. Me and Dan actually own two dogs. We have two boys, Zeus and Jonah. Well, I'm going to say Jonah and Zeus because Jonah is actually the oldest. He's the smallest, but the oldest. So Jonah came around pretty much 6 months after me and Dan started dating. I've always had family pets. Always. I love animals. I'm not so much a cat person. I'm so sorry for the cat lovers. I've had too many like shit experiences with cats that it's just turned me off completely. Yeah, I've had too many shit experiences and it scares me. Like, it actually scares me. I had one about, I'm going to say like a year and a half ago, and I'm like, no, I don't want cats. Like, some of them are cute afar, but I can't do them. They're no, we don't work. And it's okay. But I have had family pets my whole life. Whole life. And one of them being, we've gone from like, say, rabbits to dogs to fish. And I had a pet duck when I was a kid. So long story short, I had a pet duck as I'm gonna say 3-4 year old. And his name was Pepe. Loved Pepe. We grew up together, so he was like a little duck, and then he like grew to this big fuck off duck. And yeah, like I said, we did everything together, from like the bathroom to the shower to like playing outside. Like, we were together all the time. And like I said, I loved him to death, literally, and you understand why. So like I said, we did everything together, but like, he got really, really big. And then one day my mom had said, just be careful with Pepe. And I was like, yeah, all good. Me and Pepe were just sitting on my bed chatting away. My mom had taken off to the kitchen and I decided to jump on the bed with Pepe. Anyway, we were jumping on the bed, and then next minute, we know my mum said that she had heard from the kitchen at wait. And I'm like, my mum ended up running into the room. I do faintly remember, and my mum goes, Gabby, what happened to Pepe? And like, Pepe was just like that on the bed, and I said, Pepe's sleeping, mum, he tired. And she's like, well, he's sleeping forever now. I accidentally jumped on its neck and yeah, I squashed him. Poor Pepe. So yeah, we ended up having like a cute little, funeral for Pepe at home, and oh, rest in peace, Pepe. But yeah, I've grown up with family pets. And so our boys, Jonah and Zusi, we had Jonah we were about 6 months into dating, and I fell in love with Jonah. And everybody that's been around from when Jonah has been around, he has been my baby since day one. I took Jonah everywhere with me. every holiday he was there with us. He was my first pet that was mine, and he's just obsessed. So then we got Zeusy, and Zeusy we got through the COVID lockdown. So we ended up leaving home. We found him on Gumtree, and we traveled to like North Sydney to go and adopt Zeus. Zeusy was this little goofy ball of fun. He was so serious though. Like he had this like really serious look. And like these big ass paws. So when we saw the paws, we're like, shit, this guy's gonna be massive. And what do you know? He's a big boy. He's the baby, but he's bigger than Jonah. So Jonah is the Staffy, and Zeusy is the Pointer Crossbull Mastiff. Yeah, and when people actually, like when we talk to people, you know, about, you know, whatever, and we're like, oh yeah, like we've got 2 boys, and they're like, oh, so you've got 3 kids? No, we don't have 3 kids. No, that's not for us. We actually have 2 boys, like two dogs, and they're like, oh, so they're part of the family. They're part of us, you know. So yeah. I am a big outdoorsy type of girl. I love camping. I've grown up camping with the family. We've gone from, I'm not too sure. Actually, no, we have gone up north quite a bit. But I do remember more so going down south. A lot of the ways down to Wollongong, past Wollongong, we camped a lot. We started in like a tent. We went to like I think it was like an 8-man tent at one point. Yeah, so grew up all around the camping environment. I love hiking. Me and Dennis used to hike quite a bit before we had Indy. We have done it a few times with Indy. But gosh, it's tough. It is tough. You've got to pack a lunchbox. You've got to pack you've got to make sure at this point when we did try, she was in nappies, so that was quite challenging. Now that she is fully toilet trained, I am assuming that it might be a little bit easier, but we have tried it with Inns. We've got to really like prep ourselves to go. Beach days. Oh, I am such a water baby. I love being in the water. Like the water just makes me so happy. I'm definitely a beach gal, beach family. Let's introduce Indy, my Indy girl. Okay, so Indy is 3. She just turned 3 in September. She's a very strong gal. She's my best friend. We do almost everything together. She's very, very strong-willed. She communicates exactly what she wants. Actually, didn't think we were going to have a girl. When I was pregnant, I thought, I feel like I'm having a boy. And I was convinced it was a boy. Like, I knew I was having a boy. To the point that me and Den had only come up with boy names. And we were set. At that time, we didn't want to have a gender reveal. But we were so excited that, like, we thought, fuck it, let's get the gender. Like, let's get the gender. I was like, sweet, like, let's do it. I wasn't going to be surprised because I knew I was having a boy. And then we had the gender reveal. We opened the box and the pink balloons came out. I was stunned. I was stunned because, like I said, I was pretty set that I was having a boy. And then when the boy balloons didn't come out, I just was like, holy shit. Like, no, this mustn't be right. When my best friend like showed me the results and I was like, fuck, I'm having a girl. And they're like, do you have any no, we don't have any girls' names because I was set on a boy. So like that week or so, me and Dan were like sitting down in bed talking about names, writing names down, because realistically, for the first few years, we're writing it as parents. We're writing their names. And I wasn't going to fuss around with a big ass, long, WOG name. Like, no. No. Like, no. Anyway, so we couldn't agree to one. Like, there just wasn't one that we were in love with straight away. So we let it go. We just didn't worry about it for a few days. And then I sort of remember this girl that I used to play soccer with, and her name was Indiana, and I was like, I fell in love with the name so quickly, it wasn't funny. Like, I was like, I love this name. Do you know when, like, when you're like a teenager and, you're like dating someone and like you start writing like little lists of like, kids' names that you're gonna She became the one. Like, that was the one name that I was like, yeah, I love, gonna stick by that. Anyway, so I remembered the name when I was at work one day, and I thought, I'm done. Like, that's what I want. Like, that's the name I want. I'm like, I'm hoping that Dennis comes around to this too. I called him and I said, Den, and he goes, what's wrong? Are you okay? You're not into, I'm like, no, everything's fine. I was like, Indiana. And he goes, done. He goes, I love it. That's it. Like, that's it. And I was like, that was the most easiest agreement ever for a name. Like, that was just like done, set, cemented. It was Indiana. And I was so happy. So her full name is Indiana. And it's Indiana. So it's not Indiana. It's we pronounce it in Spanish Indiana. So that's the way it's sort of spelt out too. So it's Indiana Marley for my younger sister, and then Tompkins for. So yeah, and so that's how we came up with Indy's name. Good old Indy girl. Indy is a Libran. She definitely has her cool, calm, collective side of her dad, but she definitely has her fiery, stubborn, fighter in her, like her mum. And I love that because, I mean, if she didn't have anything of me and I carried her for 9 months, well, fuck, someone was going to hear about it, hey? My go-to date night would necessarily be, for Gab now, as a 28-year-old with a kid, I'm full happy to just go to the beach, lay down a blanket, have some fish and chips, maybe with like some beverages, and then do maybe like a little activity after, whether that be like a paint and sip, or I don't know, throw a twister in there. Yeah, that would be my date night. Look, don't get me wrong, some nights me and Dan have like planned a date night and it gets to like an hour and a half to the reservation, and I'm like, I look at Dan and Dan will be like, you don't want to go, do you? And I'm like, not necessarily. And he'll be like, I'll call up and just say that you're sick or some shit. I was just like, okay. And then we'll just like stick it out at home and like just be like couch babies and just watch movies and pig out on like either a kebab or a burger or something that we're vibing. And love. My go-to cocktail would be, for the beginning of the night, I start on like the nice, classy, soft cocktails. Let's start with like a strawberry daiquiri or strawberry mojito, something nice. And then it will sort of lead into the more harsher things, more like a stronger martini or maybe some shots. I do like a pussy shot. I do love a wet pussy shot, or any sort of shot. Yeah, or any sort of shot, pending how Gab's feeling. And then to top the night off, I would probably end it with like a Long Island iced tea, and then I'll just go to the dance floor and start shaking Mama gave me. And all my girlfriends are the same, so love that for us. My favorite dinner dish. Holy shit. Anything that has pasta, I guess. Like, I am a slag for pasta. Whether that be a pasta linguine, spaghetti bolognese, spaghetti carbonara, whatever is pasta, like anything pasta, bring it my way. I'm good. It's my fave. I'm definitely a big brekkie girl. I love a good brekkie board. Me and Dan started, and that was my love language to Dan. I would wake up and make us a brekkie board, or I'd make us some pancakes, and yeah, like that's just who I am. I love a good brekkie. Even like on weekends, on Saturdays, actually on Sundays more so because I work Saturdays, but Sundays I'll wake up and I'll make the whole house brekkie. Whether that be like just the standard bacon and egg toast, or we go like full out, like a big brekkie board, mushrooms, avocado, toast, eggs, bacon, halloumi, like you name it, and it's on that board. So definitely a big breakfast gal. So I'm actually a tourist. I am an April 22nd baby. I would probably say I'm pretty to the paper with being a Taurus. So my positive traits, which reading now, I feel like I'm pretty, like I said, to the paper with it. Positive traits for a Taurus is reliable and dependable. They're known for their steady nature, strong will, and consistent approach to task and relationships. I'm patient and calm. They are not easily upset and possess a relaxed temperament, allowing them to handle challenges with patience and a calm demeanor. I can definitely relate to that. It just depends on how far I'm pushed, I guess. Practical and grounded. As an earth sign, Taurus has no nonsense approach to life, focusing and building a solid foundation and tangible results. Love. Sensual and artistic. Ruled by Venus, they have a deep appreciation for the finer things in life, from fine foods and music to art and comfortable environments. Yes. Another one is loyal. They value loyalty and consistency, especially in relationships, and are known to be steadfast and deeply loving. Yes. I mean, whoever knows me knows that there are my traits. Describe myself in 3 words. I would say loyal, confident, and hardworking. My go-to motivation speeches for myself, and this is depending on situations that I may be in. Funny because the last one that I will be saying today is one that my daughter actually is well aware of too, and it's become one of our affirmations, whether that be in the shower, whether that be in the bath, getting ready in the morning, making dinner. We practice it, and she actually is at the stage now where she says it on her own, and she will come up to me and tell me to say it, and it's just such a beautiful feeling. My first one that I usually have, or like I said, depending on the situation, let's just say situation is unfair or situation that's shit, my one is usually it is what it is. Like, it fits, and it fits so fucking well. The second one that I would use necessarily in, say, for example, running. If I feel like I'm coming to a point of my run that I'm like, I can do so much better than this, like I can reach a certain target, I will usually say, you've got this, stop being a bitch. And it will usually push me. And look, depending on the environment that I'm in. So, for example, if I'm training with a friend at a gym, I won't say that out loud. I usually just say it to myself under my breath. Whereas if I'm at home on the treadmill and I'm like, nah, like, bitch, you need to keep running, I will say that line. And the one that I share so deep with my daughter is, I am strong, I am fearless, and I am confident, and that's the most dangerous thing to have. Those 3 things I want to embed in my daughter, and I want her to grow up knowing that she's strong and she has a voice, and she doesn't have to mold into places that necessarily don't serve her. I want her to be confident. I want her to be confident using her voice. I want her to be confident in her decisions. Yeah, so I feel like it definitely fits and what I believe in as well, what Dennis believes in as well. So I feel like that affirmation for my daughter is just the right one to have for her. My favorite binge watch is definitely Harry Potter. Anyone that knows me and truly knows me knows how much of a Harry Potter fan I am. I have so many things that are Harry Potter. Like one of my makeup bags is Harry Potter. My lunchbox is Harry Potter. My daughter has the wand and the cape. The amount of lines from the movie that I say daily. But yeah, my binge watch is definitely on a year to year basis is Harry Potter. We do Fast and the Furiouses, we do Pirates of the Caribbean, we do the Marvels. So top of my binge is probably, yeah, Harry Potter. My favorite season would definitely be in the warmer seasons now that I have a kid. Before Ian's, winter. I loved winter. The fashion, the boots, the coats, the, going to have some drinks with the girls at a restaurant, it gets you warm, you want to go have a boogie. Like, it was a vibe. I loved winter. I sort of knew it was coming, but I didn't. But winter comes with a kid and instantly they have boogers. Instantly they're getting sick. Like, I hate winter. Winter can fuck right off. Soon as it's the warmer weather, like right now, spring, love, love, love. Spring is my fave. I love spring. Yes, it can be a little bit bipolar. Inti and I are probably the best we are in immune wise. I'm not sick. Indy's not sick. We're not sharing weeks that we're sick. We're just loving life. It's bliss. Yeah, so definitely spring, summer, one of those. That's my season. My coffee order. Look, I don't mind just a standard vanilla latte, but I do love a taro latte. I don't know if you've tried it. Don't give it shit until you try it. But a taro latte is delish. It is delish. Warmer weathers, it's definitely turning into an iced coffee, iced latte, anything iced, 100%. I think it depends on the weather too. On the warmer weathers, it's definitely something icy, a frappe, an iced coffee, anything that's gonna keep me cool. Whereas winter, I actually go hard for hot chocolates, a good done hot chocolate. Ugh, love. I love a good hot chocolate. French or design? Oh, so for nails, don't get me wrong, I do love a French. For my toes, always a French. I love a good French. It just looks classy. It looks clean, whatever. Nail wise, I'm over French for for nails, for fingernails. I am so big on trialing new things. I love retro. I love I love all different designs. I'm happy with trialing new things with my hands. Back in the day, I'd always get a French because you could wear anything with it. Whereas now I just don't give a shit. I will just get whatever color. I rocked an electric blue once and I didn't care what I wore. I didn't care if I matched the nails. Yeah, so French for feet. I'm happy to go anything with the nails on my fingers. What advice could you give to a new, fresh mum or someone that is about to have a baby? Don't compare. Right after you have a baby, it's a lot. Your body's going through a lot of different emotions. Everybody's different. So I think not comparing yourself on how someone else is handling a newborn towards how you are. It definitely helps because, like I said, everybody's different. Every baby's different. Your journey is going to be completely different to the one next door. You're not alone. If people offer help, take it. Because I have had girlfriends that haven't had family to help her out. Or help them out. So if you have support and you have family and you have people that want to help you, take it. You're not weak for getting help. If someone's offered to come and help you with the house whilst, you're trying to learn the ways through motherhood, through having the newborn, having, all those different emotions running through you, just say yes. Thank you. You're not weak for needing help. You're not weak for speaking out. You're not weak for crying on those hard days. We all go through it. So I think my biggest advice would definitely be, don't compare yourself. Take the help. Try to love every single moment because they grow so fast. Like so fast. It's not funny. Yeah. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed to get to know me a little bit surface level, because there's going to be so many more spicy, deeper things that you're going to probably be like, what the actual fuck? But this is what we're here. This is why I'm here, to show you girls and guys and whoever's decided to click onto my podcast that we've all got our own journeys. And there is no judgment here, where it is a safe space. We're all going through things in life that, we don't talk about, or we talk about, and that's okay too. So I am here. Definitely let me know what sort of topics you want me to talk about. If you have an experience that you've gone through, whether that be in regards to being a woman, being a mum, a small business owner, family, work, anything. But again, thank you for clicking in, and I guess just being on this beautiful journey that I'm on as well. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Mum Uncensored. I'm Gab, and I'd love for you to follow, share this episode, and leave a review to help more mums find our community. Until next time, keep it real and keep it uncensored.